Oprah Winfrey revealing she uses weight loss medication. Oprah recently stunned at the Color Purple premiere. And then in an interview with People magazine, she didn't name the specific drug she takes, but said the fact that there is a medically approved prescription for managing weight and staying healthier feels like relief, like redemption, like a gift, and not something to hide behind and once again be ridiculed for.
But also this morning, poison control centers across the country say they're seeing a 1,500% increase in people accidentally overdosing on injected weight loss drugs. 1,500%.
I think a lot of it also has to do, I don't know how many of you have actually seen the Ozempic pen. So this is it. You open it up, you put a needle on there, and then you dial in the dose that you're actually going to give yourself. You do that. So people starting to work with this may say, hey, look, it's working. Let me give myself more and more of this. And that could be part of the problem as well. They're overdosing on it.
So when we talk about this massive jump when it comes to poison control centers, what are some of the symptoms?
Yeah. You know, the way this medication works, first of all, you eat and then your body releases hormones saying, I just ate. I'm not hungry anymore. What this is doing, that hormone is called GLP-1. What this drug is doing is saying, let me just sort of make the body make that hormone so the body thinks it's just eaten. So that's essentially, you feel full, you don't have appetite. That's how it works. It also slows down the intestines. So you're not moving things as long as well, and that's why you feel full also. And don't overdo the dosage. If it's working, let it work, but don't just start ramping up the dose without, thinking about it.
There's a reason your doctor gave you a certain dose?
Has impeachment moved to just a purely political exercise? And if that's the case, why?
Absolutely. And any delay in any Trump trial means that it could get pushed further into the presidential election cycle. So what does that then mean for Trump and all of the Republicans running against him in the primary?
That trials kind of stacking up and his legal battle stacking up at the height of election season. I do think this is something that is clearly going to become more pervasive as we enter primary season. Donald Trump has a series of different scheduled trials, things that are his campaign, is trying to balance right now with primary season. And it's something that they recognize is only going to get tougher as we enter next year. So it's something to keep in mind as we talk about some of his speeches and hearing him rail against a lot of these charges.
Is every president now who we cover going to be impeached?
Yeah.
And that seems to be where this country is moving, and that is what frustrates voters. They think that politicians are in it for themselves. They think that no one is sort of acting in good faith. So as a matter of American history, as a matter of why normal people don't like Washington, I think this is the reason. But front and center, more immediately than that, is it, it's the plate's pretty full for 2024. There's going to be criminal trials for Donald Trump, already in a re-election campaign, now this impeachment. So I'm not sure we know how the politics of this play. Democrats believe it's good for them. I don't know. It exposes quite a bit of Hunter Biden and other things that turns people off.
So that's on the presidential level.
Right.
One of the questions is how this is going to affect the House and whether or not Republicans can keep the House. Listen to what Mike Lawler, a moderate Republican from a very vulnerable district, said.
Today's vote was for what? It was for an investigation or impeachment? It was for an investigation. So that is where we are. And the facts and the evidence, not the politics, the facts and the evidence will determine any next steps.
Well, it's not really an impeachment, he's trying to say. We just want to get information. Is that going to fly in a swing district like his?
What we're seeing right now in the American electorate is that everyone is split on not just the obvious things, but also on what to do with the impeachment inquiry. Bloomberg News put out a poll today with Morning Consult that shows that 45% of Americans polled support an inquiry, 42% are opposed to it. And I think that's what we're going to see in the races, and the House GOP's ability to hold on to their votes on the House side. They are having to thread the needle to find a way to message it so that it's not an outright impeachment inquiry. It gets us the point, but we're not wearing out our voters.
We have to take a quick break, but Carl, I can't have you here and not say this because we've covered the Hill for a long time. You are still there. I mean, it used to be anathema to the notion of impeachment.
What
And
did
now
we-
it's
we had-
like Jeff said.
We had one in
Every
200
administration.
years, and then now we're on, Clinton,
Yeah.
2 Trumps, and a Biden. I mean, I think Jeff nailed it. This is, if the president is one party and the House is the other party, it's going to be impeachment. And censure, all these things have been ramped up, amplified. Talk about weaponization in the Congress. Well,
Yeah.
impeachment's been weaponized.
Yeah,
And
before
you know,
we even get
Dana,
started.
real quick, you know that the former president is making the claim that this is election interference. And if you get to next summer, you know, that argument starts holding a lot more water.
Yeah, no question. Thank you so much, Evan, for your great reporting, as always. CBS asked the question of the most important problem facing the country. Inflation is number one. Right behind it is immigration and the border. And now let's look over to a Wall Street Journal question about border security. Who would handle it better? I mean, it doesn't even come close. Joe Biden is just getting killed by Donald Trump, more than double the support on this issue, which is why, yes, you're talking about the Senate politics, but for President Biden, maybe he's going to say, this is more important to me than making my progressives angry.
I think the issue of the border is a real problem for Democrats and for Biden. And voters are seeing it. Whether you're an independent voter or a Democratic voter, the sense of competence is a real question rather than just the issues around asylum and other issues around immigration broadly.